Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to Doki Doki Forest. I'm so glad you are here. Now, if you're anything like me, you may have been collecting magazines and images for different sort of projects like a journal, like a junk journal, an art journal, collage journal, whatever sort of mixed media journal or project you're working on. So you may have collected a lot of images. And you may have also collected a lot of words and phrases. Now, I never used to collect words and phrases. I just collected images. But inspired by many in this journaling community, I have also embraced collecting words and phrases. So much so that, like me, you may find yourself with a box full of words and phrases, chock full. In other words, a pile. Here we go, a big pile of tons and tons of words and phrases. And you start to wonder, am I ever possibly going to use all of these words and phrases? It's just so much. And I realized, no, I am most likely not going to be able to use all of these or even remember what I have in here. So the other day you may have seen me working on my Seasons glue book. And in the summer session, there were a lot of words and phrases. So at the end of my Seasons glue book, what I did was take some of the words and phrases that I had left that I had to use, but I couldn't really fit them on a page, and I decided to make a poem with them. I'll show you. So for example, I had done these pages here, and sure, I had some words down here, which I was happy with, but the words I had left, I decided to just make a couple of poetry pages. So I came up with these two, and when I did this, I realized that I loved this idea of taking the words and making poems with it. And I thought, I think I'm going to make a whole glue book based on taking these piles of words and using them in poems. And then creating a glue book page that goes along with that. Maybe finding some images that go with the words. When I shared this idea, I was really excited that a lot of people said they liked it and they thought they would like to join in as well. Care over at My Take at the Lake messaged me and said, count me in. She also was saying that we should have a hashtag, which I didn't even think of. So I'm really glad she shared that. And the hashtag that she came up with that I really like is piles to poems. So hashtag piles to poems. So if you decide to create and get in on this and put some words into poetry in your glue book page and make a page around it, or maybe have a whole glue book like I'm going to do with, all these different phrases and turn it into a whole poetry book, then definitely tag me, but use the hashtag because that way everyone can find you. So if there's somebody who's interested in this sort of thing and they watch this video or, they'll be able to find your video as well. And I'll be sure to share your video if you let me know. So that way, we can share the ideas because that's the great thing about this community is sharing ideas. And so this is a hashtag for everybody. So get out your words, get out your piles. Let's see what we can create. So when I'm doing this right now looks overwhelming. So you may not want to take your whole pile out in the beginning. You may just want to take a chunk of it, And then you certainly don't have to make the poems rhyme or anything like that. You can feel free to create your poem however you want. I like this don't feel bad. I'm going to take that and put that aside. I like to have my poems rhyme if possible. So I'll probably look for words that rhyme. Like house should be one that I can find a rhyme for, hopefully. So let me go through my pile. I'll see if I can find some phrases that rhyme, and then we'll see if we can make any sense out of it. So as I'm going through, and looking for words that rhyme to put together, I'm putting some things back in the box that I don't think I will use, just to make it easier. So if it's like one word, I'm pretty sure I won't use it, but I might. But I'm putting it in there. Or if it's like a whole phrase, I'm putting it in here. So just if you're doing the same thing, kind of dumping out a pile, and it's a lot, I'm just kind of going through to see what I have. And then for now, I'm putting the things that are one word or full phrases or quotes in the box because I don't think I'll need them. And then if I have things that rhyme, I'm putting them together. So I found get buff and enough. I don't know if I'm going to use them. And as I say that, it's like, well, here's one word, and I didn't put that back in the box. So, you know, take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm putting most of the things that are one word back in here. But because I saw this get buff and enough, they were sort of together. And I thought, well, maybe. I'm not sure what we're getting buff about, but I'm going to keep it out for now. So that's just sort of my thought process right now behind the scenes as I'm going through things. Like this one says Call of the Cabin, Cozy Retreats. I feel like I was supposed to use this in a fall season's glue book. Was I, Care? Now that I'm looking at this, but I'm going to put that back in the box. I don't think I'll use it. This thanks is cute. And maybe I would use that one because it's just, although I don't know what would rhyme with it, maybe Tom Hanks. Welcome to a world away. So this phrase could work because away, you know, you could find something that rhymes with that. So I'll put that to the side. But every once in a while, I'll find something that's a quote that's like a full quote of, you know, something somebody said. And those are the things I'm kind of putting back in the box. So, yeah, let's see. I'm going to keep going. I've only found a couple of things that rhyme so far. I haven't found a whole poem yet, but I'm enjoying looking at these things because honestly, I've been so busy just throwing all my words in this box that I haven't really ever taken them out like this and looked at it. So it's good to just reconnect and remember what you have, you know? So as I'm going through my words, I'm realizing that these single words are great because you can change the ending. So if you need a rhyme or you just want to change the whole meaning, like this says go for green, but you could just change that to go for creativity. So as you're going through, you may want to keep some of these single words out if you really like them and you think you might want to use them. I mean, you just never know. So the first poem that I created is Under the Sea, In the Depths, Go with the Flow, Simply the Best, Shrimply the Best. So I know best and depths don't quite rhyme, but I think we can like make that work. You know, we can kind of just be a little generous with ourselves. It doesn't have to be an exact rhyme. And also I'm going to write your, so we'll say your shrimply the best. So feel free to write on your words, add anything you want, take anything off you want, cut the words up, use them in a different order, mix them up, whatever you want to do. There's no rules to this besides just using up our piles. Now I've collected some images that I found that I may use, some underwater images to create our glue book page. I love this betta fish. I cut this out and was going to use it on I think it was a glue book page like a year or two ago. I never did. This background I really like, this image. And some smaller images. That's really pretty. I've got a little I have a lobster with a martini. I actually really like that. It's like he's toasting you like, cheers, you're shrimply the best. So I think I will use that. Look, there's a dashing, what is this, a perch? I don't know what kind of fish this is. A dashing perch with a pipe, we'll say. And a fish. A little crab showing up with a fork, ready to eat something, ready for a feast. Or maybe that's like, you know, it's like his dingle hopper. It's Sebastian with the dingle hopper, like in The Little Mermaid. Then we have dolphin and a scuba diver or snorkeler, I guess, right there. This was the only thing I found that was sort of a shrimp, but I know it's not a shrimp, right? I don't think it is, but that's as close as I can get. Some dolphins. And lastly, we have some clownfish, right? In a sea anemone there. So I'm going to take this book and just open up to a random page. This is the exact middle, isn't it? Yeah, because there's the stitching. So maybe I should start in the middle. Is that a bad idea? I don't know. I'm going to do it. You can use whatever size notebook you want. I decided to go with a composition notebook only because some of my phrases are really large. So, like if I use some of my big words like this, like it takes up quite a bit of room. So, although I wanted to use a smaller notebook originally, I decided to just go with the tried and true composition book. But you use whatever you want. And in fact, I may still use a smaller notebook and use it for smaller poems that would actually fit. So let's see. I really liked this image here. And what would go with that? This is a pretty nice image too, with the snorkeler and the dolphin going around. That's like a really nice sort of image as well. I kind of feel like I want this to go over here too, though. So unless I did that, this little guy could be peeking out from under here, perhaps. Well, I might chop off some of the face a little bit. And if you have extra space like this, you can always just paint it if you don't have like a small image. Of course, we want to have our cheering guy probably over there popping in. And let's see, we've got some small images. Let me see. I thought it might be cute to put one of the words on here, like if I put Shrimply the best on the little sign. I feel like it may not show up as well as if I just put it on the page. Like I could either put it over here under the sea, in the depths, go with the flow. Shrimply the best. You don't really see this dark on the dark there. But could do something like that. I mean, I could just do a one page there. I could just do something like this with those little guys popping in, and then maybe I could just do a one page for each poem, or 2 pages depending, but I could even use this down here. Do that. And have that. And I definitely want to have this little guy too. And I have to have the shrimp somewhere, but I could trim that out. And I really like this. I really like this guy too, though. I could do that. See, part of the whole thing is just arranging our pictures in a way that we like. And we all have different ways that we like to have things. I could just have that guy coming in there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have a one page. And I could either cut this out or rip it, but I think I will cut it. So let's get this a little bit closer. Not super close because there's these long antennae. Yeah, I have this huge bin of animal images. Well, not huge, but I mean, it's a pretty good sized drawer. Chock full. But no true shrimp picture was in there, so this guy will have to do for now. I feel like you don't really see him, though. Could put him down there. Cut this out a little bit, or maybe I'll rip this one. I like the look of ripped paper. If there's room to do it. Sometimes you don't quite have room, but there's a lot of space at the bottom here, so I feel good about that. Let's see if I can just kind of carefully tear right here. Hopefully not rip the glass. There we go. So that way we can have him popping in there. I could give this one a rough edge too, so it kind of matches. And you know, these pages you could always add some more stuff to too. Probably want to cover up that world view. I don't want that unless I lift it up. All right, let's just start gluing. Before I start gluing, let me rip this one too. Let me know how many words you've collected. Do you also have a large box of not just words, but like phrases too? Like, do you find that you collect and collect and collect, but you're not using them as fast as you're collecting them? Because that's really the key, right? It's like, you know, if you're collecting them and using them, then that's awesome. But if you're collecting them and forgetting about them like me, then it's good to get everything out and just see what you have. Refresh your memory. And I should trim this up before I glue that on, but we can finish our bottom here. I kind of feel like I should rip this too. That way it looks more like water at the bottom. I don't want that corner so much. Can do it like that. And again, there's a little bit right here that we can always just add a little something. Or actually, if I move that down and I put the shrimp there, it'll be fine. So let's do that. I'm just going to glue the whole bottom. Whoops, this corner is not. Sometimes the very bottom of my images and the corners aren't glued as much as I think they are. I tend to always have to go back in and like lift up a corner, put a little more glue down, try to really get it in there. Put this little guy here, crabby right here, little Sebastian. And we'll put our shrimp, let's put him right here. Oh yeah, I was going to put this at the bottom and then have the shrimp cover the top. How did I not glue that right? I literally just said it. Oh, this is what happens. Okay. We'll glue that right there. I'm going to just trim off these edges and then we will glue the words on. Okay, so it's all trimmed, and then I had trimmed this part off of the image. And I'm thinking I can actually fill in down here if I just cut out some of these little fish. So let's do that and glue those in. You can just rip them like that. So that way they have this similar kind of edge. And I can even put, maybe I can put this guy over in the corner. Maybe he's swimming in too. And then this little guy's right there. And just kind of fill in a little bit of those parts that where the notebook is showing through. I can put one right there. So we could do another one like swimming through like that. Actually, hold on. Here's what I should do. I should take a bit of the blue and glue this on first to blend this. Then that way I don't have any of this paper showing down here. And then I can just glue on top of it. So I always like to save all of my scraps and try to use just about everything, really. Because you never know when you're going to need it. So put some more fishies over here. There we go. And then we've got our little fishy over here. Where'd my other fish go? Oh, here he is. Almost lost him. Almost swam away. And then this little one will just be kind of connecting those images there. All right, and then I'll trim that up. And we'll see if we like that. Actually, here's the little ripped part from the top. I think I'm going to add that because I like how that looks instead of having this straight part down here. So here's another scrap. We'll just use that right up. Sometimes the little ripped pieces are just perfect for this sort of thing. Okay, now that we have the page trimmed up, we have our background on, we've got everything trimmed up, I'm going to go ahead and add this little guy. Let's see, who do I want to cover? Maybe I'll just have him kind of coming in like, we don't want him to spill his drink though. Let's have the drink sort of upright as much as we can. We'll just put it like that. I know we covered up that fish, but that's okay. We've got plenty of other fish in the sea to look at here. Okay, now we've got to add the words before they fall on the floor and I can't find them again. You ever have that happen? I have that happen frequently. So maybe I'll go right here to cover up. I had that, whoops, this little glue blob there. Sorry about that. There's a little word there, so I want to cover up those phrases that were on the page from before. All right, now the other thing is, let's be sure we glue the words in the right order, right? I mean, it would be kind of interesting to glue them out of order. Let's see, we'll do under the sea, in the depths, go with, actually, I don't want the period here on go with the flow because that's not the end of our sentence. So let's take that off. There we go. All right, under the sea, in the depths, go with the flow, shrimply the best. I don't want to cover up that little fish face. There we go. And then the last thing is to add your. Let's see, hopefully this pen writes. This is a Uniball Signo, my favorite white gel pen. I find that this one seems to write the best, but it will smudge. You do have to let it dry. Okay. Under the sea, in the depths, go with the flow, you're shrimply the best. So that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you had a great time hanging out, and I will be back real soon because I did gather up 2 more poems that I can create pages for. So I will be doing those in the next few days. So look forward to those. Let me know if you're joining along. Even if you're not posting it anywhere, just let me know if this is an idea that you're connecting with that you really want to try out. And again, if you would like to use the hashtag that Care created for this, which thank you so much, Care, it is hashtag piles2poems. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I will see you again soon.